Moderators, but in an article entitled "What Can Theater Do?" published in American Theater magazine, which took writings from theater artists all over the country after the election, Oskar Eustis, the artistic director from the Public Theater, wrote, "If we want to matter, we have to listen to and speak to all the people in our country, not just those who already feel part of our community." Do you agree? And if so, how?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go.
I think this question and what he was phrasing was meant to be, I don't know, like political in nature, but I'm going to kind of take it away from that.
Do it.
I think years ago, theater made a crucial mistake in that we tried to create an elitist society. We wanted theater to be for the highbrow, and in doing so, we alienated a lot of the community. And right now, we're saying, we've changed that. We want you to come, and they're saying, yeah, but you didn't want us for years. Why should we go there?
Can I ask, that's just an interesting statement. Where do you think that happened?
I think it happened, theater histories. It was, theater used to be the entertainment of the people. And then as more forms of entertainment started coming along, theater started losing money. So the way theater chose to deal with that crisis was to say, yeah, you can go to all these other forms.
But this is the intellectual choice?
Yeah, but this is exactly right. This is the intellectual choice.
That's why there was a theater, an opera house,
Yes.
in every small town in America.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I think for me, and this is something that's very near and dear to my heart and something I've been trying to do, is breaking down the walls that we set up years ago because we wanted art to be so elite. And I'll give you my example is I've been setting up these sensory performances for individuals with disabilities who have never been to the theater because maybe they can't sit in a hall silent for 2 hours. And maybe they might need to stand up. Maybe there might be a time where they laugh inappropriately or cry inappropriately. And for years and years and years and years and years, we have told them, great, because you have that, you're not welcome here. And so recently we started these things called sensory performances where you are allowed to stand up. You are allowed to have a re-entry policy. If you make some noise, nobody cares. And not just being welcoming to those individuals, but welcoming to their families and welcoming to the people who support them. And it's just crazy to me because we spent, if you look at someone with autism, and I'm saying for me, the main difficulty with autism is I don't understand the world around me. I don't understand how to connect to the people that I see on a daily basis. Well, that's the exact same thing that theater, in its essence, is trying to address, how we connect with the world and how we connect with the people around us. And so it's insane to me that we've spent so many years pushing these people away, when in my mind, those were the people that need theater most of all in the entire world. And so I'm just going to do a plug for not for my organization, for 4 organizations. One of them mine, Ensemble Theater Cincinnati, Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park, Children's Theater, and the Ballet, who have created these sensory performances looking to welcome in. And I think, and I've said this on record, that Cincinnati is becoming one of the most inclusive places in the United States of true arts communities. So, yeah.
I think that Oskar Eustis, the way that he says this, is sort of elitist in itself. Like, we have to bring this, as if we are these magical theater people, gods, that have to bring this to these other communities. No, communities have to figure out how to do this for themselves and speak what they want. We don't need to bring our ideas to them.
Also, I think we're well in that change, and I always use it, Wicked. Years ago, Wicked came out, and I don't know, Wicked's fine, I like Wicked, it's great. But what Wicked did was suddenly it did what Rent had done years ago, where suddenly people who weren't affiliated with theater were watching it. And that led to Hamilton. Suddenly people are going, oh wow, that's cool. And now I was recently in New York standing in a line, and somebody was like, yeah, I couldn't get tickets for Hamilton. I saw something about The Great Comet. I don't know what that is, but I think I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm that's a musical based on a Tolstoy novel. Suddenly we're becoming not elitists. All these people are are coming and watching it. I've talked so much on this question. I don't know.
There's also an opening for a different type of theater that if it does exist here, it's not well known. And I've been working on my master's at NYU over the summer, and I don't think I've heard as many forms of theater as I did this past semester. When you hear devised theater, applied theater, storybook theater, psychodrama, bibliodrama, and I was like, what is this? And my eyes were completely open. But what is great about all of those terms is that they all pertain to actually getting into the communities and telling the community story. Storybook theater, in its essence, is people coming together. A person tells their story, and actors present it with them involved. And so when we talk about that we have to listen and speak to all the people, we have to get those diversions of theater into our communities if we are going to start speaking to people and hearing their voices.
I want to go back to Abby's point for a minute, because one of the conversations that we've been having for years now is just a simple change of phrase about how do we stop making art for our community and start making it with our community. And it's a really, really hard thing to do. We are very used to arting at people. Here's our art, come get it. And that, even if it works, still probably isn't right for, again, the sort of community space that we're trying to create. But it's really hard because it's more than sort of token moments of like, what do you want to hear? And we'll play it. It has to go a little bit deeper into the community if you're going to reflect the community. And it's not a challenge we've solved. And I'd be interested to hear if anybody else on the panel has experience with that sort of feeling or ideas for how the arts institutions as they are can make room for more of those voices, invite more of those voices, and make sure we're not just getting the 5% who are already raising their hands, but sort of like we've seen with the election, there are a lot more voices that you're not hearing from that surprise us later.
I think in my experience, unfortunately, this is, there's progress being made there, but a lot of it is sometimes we're in these endless conversations of a lot of older, white, cisgender, heterosexual, abled, and upper class people in a room together going, how do we get more people not like us in the room? How do we bring more people to the theater? Why are there not more people of color coming to our theater? It's like, well, let's look around this room. Maybe we should ask some folks what they would like and what they actually want. Or maybe better yet, sometimes I think we still approach this from a sense just of education. Like we'll say, well, we need to do a better job of arts education so that people can appreciate our classical music or our classical theater or our art museum. It's like, or you could go experience the art that those communities are already making and look at them as experts and invite them to tell you what they know and get them into the room and give them the space and the amplification they need.